guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a quick review plus on-feet video of the Nike Flyknit Roshe. Now, as you guys can see, it comes in a red box as opposed to an orange one, and that's because this is a sportswear product and not a Nike performance product. Open the box up, and on the inside, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at this Flyknit variation of the very popular Nike Roshe run, which has recently been renamed by Nike as the Roshe 1. So, if you guys have never seen this shoe before, obviously it does feature a Flyknit upper, and it looks distinctively like the Nike Magista Obra, also a shoe that features a Flyknit upper. So to a certain extent, this shoe is soccer inspired. Now, of course, it is intended for casual wear. It's not a performance product by any means, something that we will be talking about more a little bit later in this video. But I figured I'd show them to you guys on this channel because enough of you have been interested. I've actually had quite a few requests to review the Flyknit variation of the Roshe, so that's why I'm making this video for you guys today. So if you are interested in learning more about this particular shoe, please stick around and watch the entire video. And if you are perhaps interested in a pair of these for yourself, check out the review page on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. On that page, you will find buy it now links for all of the currently available colorways of the Nike Flyknit Roshe. So go ahead and check that out if you are at all interested. Again, first link down below in the description. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. The first question that I wanted to answer right off the bat is whether or not you should buy the Roshe run, whether it's the standard mesh variation or the Flyknit model, as your next running shoes. And the answer to that question is no. The Roshe run is technically not a running shoe. It's intended as a casual wear product. With that being said, if you really did want to run in them, I suppose you could. The standard Roshe run is not going to be quite as well suited in terms of underfoot cushioning and just general performance from the overall shoe. Yes, they're going to be nice and comfortable, and if you are comfortable running in them, continue to run in them. There's no issue with it whatsoever. But if you did want to buy a pair of these to either run in all the time or run in occasionally, I really think that the Flyknit variation is the best version to buy of this particular shoe. Not only is the Flyknit upper significantly better suited for actual performance than the mesh variation, and that's just a lot more supportive and just much better quality overall. You also have what they call a blown phylon sole, which is a little bit different than the standard Roshe one. You can see it does have more of a kind of modern angular look to it, just in terms of how it's shaped, and it's a much more kind of lightweight, spongier type of foam as opposed to the standard Roshe runs that are a much more dense, solid foam. This also does have the Nike free splits in the forefoot that make it a lot more flexible and just more comfortable overall, both for walking as well as for running. So again, the Roshe run line is technically designed for casual wear, but if you really wanted to run in them, sure you could, but I wouldn't buy them as actual running shoes. So Flyknit Roshe, what exactly are you getting here? Obviously, the Flyknit pattern is very much like what you're going to find on the Magista Obra, which I found to be particularly cool. Now, is it the exact same upper? The answer to that question is no. I would say that the Flyknit on the Magista Obra, believe it or not, is actually going to be a little bit thinner than what you're going to find on the Flyknit Roshe. I was really impressed with the overall quality. You can see that both of these shoes do have that same kind of oval pattern running through the forefoot, and pretty much the same direction as well. So they do share their similarities as far as visuals are concerned, but the actual Flyknit on the Roshe does feel a little bit thicker. Obviously, it doesn't have any of the internal lining that you're going to find on the Magista Obra or any kind of extra supports on the inside because, again, it's a casual wear shoe. It doesn't necessarily need all of that, but just on its own, it feels very structured. Of course, it doesn't have a Nike skin covering or anything like that. It just looks very cool and feels very good on your feet, and there's really nothing to complain about. So you can see that this pattern runs all the way through the forefoot and the toe area, continues onto the tongue. It's one solid piece here, and then it kind of on the inside of the shoe, it wraps your foot like kind of like an internal sock. And ends right about here on both the lateral and medial side. And then you have an extra piece of Flyknit where the pattern starts to vary a little bit. You're going to find more of that oval pattern kind of going in the opposite direction on the top portion of the upper. And then you're going to find a more tightly, kind of more traditional mesh look to the Flyknit pattern around the heel here, which I think looks pretty cool. I like that they changed up the pattern going across the entire shoe. And then of course it gets a lot more dense here by the lace holes as well. Laces are right there in the middle. You have these rounded black laces, solid in color. A little Nike kind of logo right there on the pull tab on the tongue. You have a pull tab on the back. This particular colorway I think is really nice. It is a combination of white, obviously, which you're going to find in the midsole, and the Nike swoosh, and then a combination in the Flyknit of cool gray, dark gray, and black. This is one of those colorways that is a little bit more difficult to come by, and the reason why I haven't picked these up until now is because I wanted one of the more simple colorways. The flashy colorways are a lot easier to come across, but again, everything that is available I will have linked on the review page of my website, which will be down below in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and check that out if you are at all interested. You do have a Nike swoosh on both the lateral and medial side, white in color and fully embroidered, which I think looks really, really cool. It's in a similar positioning as the actual Magista Obra, which is kind of interesting as well. Again, I think that the styling of this shoe was based on the Magista Obra, at least in terms of the Flyknit pattern and the positioning of the Nike swoosh. So if that means anything to you, then maybe this shoe is 5% or 10% cooler in your eyes, I guess. But I really like the look of the embroidered Nike swoosh. I wish it's something that they would put on the soccer shoe, but I'm not sure it's the most effective way of doing things in terms of performance and just efficiency. You do have a smooth kind of mesh lining material with a decent amount of padding there, and they just have more structure to them overall in comparison to a standard pair of Roshe runs that have the mesh upper. And then of course the insole, it's an Ortholite insole that's pretty thin honestly, but it's still thick enough and soft enough to provide that nice kind of spongy underfoot sensation. And then you have a very, very soft kind of almost like a synthetic suede material on top of the insole with this nice texturing to it as well. So you can wear these very comfortably with or without socks, which is really, really nice and very similar to what you're going to find on the standard Roshe runs as well. I already talked about the midsole being that blown Phylon foam. I really like how this one looks. It's a little bit more modern and just doesn't look quite as blocky, and it feels a lot more comfortable. There's just more underfoot cushioning with this particular variation. I like the Nike free cutouts. It makes for a lot more flexibility in the forefoot, which I really like the feel of, and it's pretty much just standard Phylon foam. There's no extra rubber grips here. You're just going to find that waffle pattern that's pressed into the actual foam itself. So again, as a running shoe, I guess if you're just jogging, you're not going to run into any issues, but if you do want to make any kind of quicker pace runs or a change of direction, just know that it's just solid foam under your feet. There's really no extra rubber to grip the ground all that well. So especially if it's a little bit wet, you're not going to have very much traction under your feet at all, which is not a big deal for casual wear. But again, if you do intend on running on these, it's something worth noting. So that's pretty much it as far as all the close-up details are concerned with the Flyknit Roshe. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comment section, and move on next to a quick weigh-in so we can see how lightweight these guys are. While it isn't a particularly important feature when you're talking about a casual wear shoe, I know that enough of you guys will want to see exactly how much these things weigh, so I'm going to weigh them for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. I'm going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.5 ounces, which is the equivalent of 240 grams. So as far as running shoes go, they are definitely on the lighter side of things. The Flyknit upper feels very good against your foot, sock-like dare I say, and the outsole provides plenty of underfoot cushioning and just nice lightweight flexibility overall. These shoes feel very light on your feet, so if that's something that's important to you as a casual wear shoe, then yes, the Flyknit Roshe Run, Roshe 1, Flyknit Roshe, whichever variation you want to go for, they're all going to be very, very solid options if that's the type of look and feel that you're going for. All right, so here is a look at the Flyknit Roshes on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of black premium SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. It'll be linked in the description of this video. I always get questions asking whether or not you can use SR4U laces on shoes other than soccer cleats, and the answer to that question is yes. Which you guys can very clearly see. So in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they're very, very comfortable shoes. They feel a lot like standard Roshe runs, other than the Flyknit upper that is equally as flexible, maybe not as soft. It's a little bit more structured, but just feels comfortable overall. No major complaints there whatsoever. I really like this outsole more than the standard Roshe run. And again, it's just a very comfortable casual wear shoe in general. You can wear these every single day and not have any issues with discomfort whatsoever. They're nice and lightweight. This particular version feels particularly flexible because of the flex grooves in the actual outsole itself. And again, they're just comfortable shoes. There's not much to complain about here. As far as width is concerned, they're wide enough to fit just about everybody. So regardless of whether you have narrow feet or wide feet, you shouldn't have any issues here whatsoever. And as far as sizing is concerned, I normally wear a size 9.5 US in standard Roshe runs with the mesh upper for a pretty snug fit, but the Flyknit variation runs half a size to a full size large. So instead of a 9.5, I went down half a size to a 9 US, and these fit me pretty comfortably. I think that I could even get away with wearing an 8.5 if I really, really wanted to, but I think for most people going down half a size should be sufficient to have the proper fit. So again, keep in mind that these do run at least half a size big, so if you are looking to order a pair, I would strongly recommend going half a size down for the best possible fit. Alright guys, that's my review of the Flyknit Roshe from Nike. Really cool shoe, especially if you're a fan of the Obra and you want a casual wear shoe that doesn't necessarily look exactly like the Obra, but has similar styling characteristics with the pattern in the Flyknit upper. Plus it's just a very, very comfortable, lightweight, flexible shoe that you can very easily wear every single day. Not only because it's comfortable, but also because I think it looks pretty good as well. So again, if you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, check out the review page on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. Any of the colorways that are still currently available, I will have buy it now links up, so go ahead and check that out. First link down below in the description. If you have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe, leave your questions down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.